Oh, good shot. Good morning. Welcome to Planet Mojo. Today, the number one task is to get both of these shelters nailed to the ground or fastened to the ground. Then, from there, I really don't know what I'm going to be doing. I have the remnants of the glyphosate that I mixed up yesterday. I got this entire area sprayed, I got the trail sprayed, and I got the inside of the greenhouse sprayed. And whatever is left, I should spray that right away. I really need to spray the vineyard, and I need to start loading that greenhouse back up once it's fastened to the ground. So I have a ton of stuff to do today, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be able to get done, but I do know that especially this one needs to be fastened to the ground. This is kind of in the open, and this will hold my tools during the construction going on here. And if I don't get that fastened down, I could have a bunch of wet tools. Izzy's gonna love me working right here, at least for a little while. Okay, I found a bunch of anchors. I have 4 of this type. I'm not 100% sure what these are called. These are arrowhead anchors. These should work a little bit better than these, so I think I'm going to put 1 of these and 1 of these on this, and then I'm just going to nail down the corners. That should do it for this. And then I'll put, I don't know, I might put 3 on the greenhouse. We'll see. These have 2 different types of pounders, so I'm going to have to go find them, and then we'll get started. Okay, I found the pounders for these. This one is really nice. I love the head on that. And this one is a bit older, and that's just mushroomed over from pounding them in. And this skinny little thing is the one that came with these. I had a lot of problems with these. Hopefully they'll work. I think I had to abandon a few of them because they just crumble in the ground. Hopefully if these don't work, the mil-spec will work. Like I said, I'm just going to put 1 on that back corner right there and on that corner right there. And I'm going to pull out the ones that are in the ground over here. They're the screw-in type, and put those on the other 2 corners. The greenhouse actually does not need as much support as this does, so we'll see what's left after I'm done with this and then go support the greenhouse. Oh, look what Izzy brought me. All right, the 10 by 10 shed in a box is now secured to the ground. Got anchors on both of the front legs and that rear leg right there. This thing is super sheltered. It's not going anywhere. Another thing I want to do is get these flaps out onto the ground like that and put a board on them, and then put some concrete blocks on that. This is the only one I'm worried about. I'm not really worried about the greenhouse. This one will get a little bit of wind, but not very much, because the predominant wind in the fall is from that direction, so it's going to get hit about right here. Another couple things I got to do is get a tarp on the floor in there. If you don't put a tarp on the floor, you get the dew rising in the morning and it's just completely wet in there during the day. I do not want that for my tools. Also, I'm going to take some Gorilla Tape and tape up there and over here. I'm just going to patch it. However, I just don't want water coming through there when it's raining. But other than that, this is good to go. All right, I'm going to gather up my tools, and one of these boards, it looks like the one on the right is in a lot better shape. So I'm going to use that on the end that you can see right there. And that's going to be closed up and pretty much left like that, and everything's going to be packed from the other side. I don't know if I'm going to be putting that other board in or not. Maybe. So it looks like this is going to be a little more work than I thought. I forgot all about a floor for this. We didn't have a floor when this was a greenhouse, but we're going to be storing a lot of stuff in here, and it's not going to be used as a greenhouse. So I should put a tarp down first. Well, after I get it anchored. And it dips down there right by the container. Yeah, and my flap is not going all the way to the ground. I should move this out about a foot, but it's really tight back here. That's no problem. All this stuff is going to leave, but it's got to go somewhere temporary until I can get it back in here. Those two can go all the way in the back, but not with all that stuff in the way. So I'm going to have to shift stuff around and get this anchored down. Then I'm going to have to run to town and get a tarp for this and a tarp for the other one and get those installed. Then I can start filling these things. But for today, anchoring this is going to take a while, so I'll get started on that and shift it and do all that stuff and shift some of this stuff around. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to head to the store tonight, but possibly. All right, I was going to run to town and get some tarps and some other stuff, but Cindy had some in the container here, and that's a good size. So what I'm going to do is just get this one completely done. The 10 by 10, it's not as important. So once I get this one done, I can start loading it. That's the big deal. So I have decided to use these again because I can attach the tarp to it, and that'll make this nice and waterproof. The thing is, water comes in like at an angle right here and goes down until it hits the container, and then it runs along the container and goes through here. And I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but I have a drain back here. I'll show you real close. I have a drain back here, and that goes down under the road over there and exits over in the field over there. So that's what keeps this area semi-dry. So what I need to do with this tarp is have it come up on this edge and that edge, and then lay flat on this edge and that edge. That way, any water that kind of drips in here will be able to roll off and go out, and any water that's trying to come in here across the gravel here is going to go under it instead of over it. You'll see what I mean as we get going on this. But the first thing I got to do is move this greenhouse out about a foot so that those feet are back onto level ground. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to move at least these and probably some other stuff over there. I went and got Natalie, and I lifted up the corner, she pulled it underneath, then I lifted up this corner, she pulled it underneath, and then we did the same thing all the way down there. Now I have that pile of stakes or spikes. What I'm going to do is spike this back side and spike this side. I don't want to put too many holes on this side. I might not do any spikes on this side. I might just do the anchors. I'm going to put an anchor here and an anchor there. Like I said, this area is really well sheltered. There's a hill here, the shed here, and a container here. And this whole end is just going to be sealed off. The door actually tore when I tried to close it before. So what I'm going to do, I have to get a tarp for the 10 by 10. And the closest size is 10 by 20. So I'm just going to cut it in half and use my Gorilla waterproof tape and tape it over this. I'll tape it right down to this and then staple it and then go down to the ground. That should shed the water really well. In the end, I just don't want this thing filling up with water. And I don't think it's going to the way I'm doing this, but never know. Oh, and with these eyelets, wherever I can, I'm going to pull that up and tie it to that bar right there. And then I'll probably use some more of that Gorilla tape on areas where I can't do that. And like I said before, water should flow underneath this. If this gets any holes in it, water is going to come in, and then hopefully it will just drain right back out on these two open sides. At least that's my plan. And like I said, this is just temporary. This has only got to last until that building is built. Well, next summer sometime. Then we're probably going to move this right behind the new wood shop. All right, let's start getting this thing anchored down. It is now, what is it, 6:30? Yep, just about 6:30. We got back from the store about an hour and a half ago and had supper. But I got my 10 by 20 tarp. like I said, half of it's going to cover this end here. Half of it's going to be the floor in the other shelter. I got my outlet. I'm going to put this right on the pedestal. We're used to having electricity up there on the side of the barn, and now that's gone. And I'm going to want electricity up there, so I'm going to put that right on the pedestal. And this right here, what the heck is that? Some weird ass bug. And this is the extension for the curb stop up by the water up in that pasture up there. Ooh. Bye-bye, bug. Thank you. You're a good turkey. Well, I was going to kick her out of here, but not now. You're doing a good job. So, tomorrow, I'm going to get back at this. I'm going to put 2 anchors in here. One right there, and one right here. And that'll be it. Then I'm going to tape up. I got to poke a hole in the floor, pound them through the floor, hook everything up, and then I'll tape that off. I was going to put spikes through these, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I am going to put spikes on that side, though. And that should do it. As soon as this is sealed up, I'm going to start loading it up. And shortly after that, the majority of this stuff will be gone. All of the stuff in here will be gone. That'll be a great day. And also tomorrow, the vet is coming. Mr. Mark is going to be getting some intravenous drugs tomorrow, and he's going to be getting them every day for this entire week. He's kind of a sick boy, but I will tell you more about that tomorrow. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.